All right, we are going to go ahead and get started today. We're going to be focused on back strengthening, but we're also integrating some back flexibility into our practice, so building strength while working on flexibility so they can complement each other. As we get started, we're making our way to a resting seated position, and that's whatever that looks like for you today. Grounding the palms of the hands on the knees gently, whether that's face down, if we're looking for something within ourselves today throughout this practice, or perhaps they're face up as a sign of receiving from the energy around us in this space. All together, wherever we are, taking a nice deep breath. On the exhale, allowing the shoulders to come away from the ears. Taking a couple moments to get acclimated with our breathing before we get into some movement. I'd like us to work our inhalations towards a count of 4. Breathing in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of that breath, followed by an open mouth exhale for a count of 5 or 6. So we're slowing down the breathing, allowing those inhalations to be nice and full. Notice the lungs fill up with air. And with each exhale, releasing everything. The chest softens. And repeating this cycle in through the nose, out through the mouth. I encourage us to let go of any thoughts or emotions that exist outside of the mat today, so we can be fully present for our bodies throughout this practice, so we can be fully present for ourselves in this time. Allowing our soul focus to be on the breathing and our movements, on the way we feel right now. Spine is long. Noticing the cyclical nature of the breath as we take in what we need, release everything we don't. On our next exhalation, allowing the chin to make its way down towards our chest, we can shake the head no, releasing any tension in the neck here. And as we inhale, guiding our right ear towards our right shoulder blade, getting a nice extension in the left side of the neck. Taking a nice deep breath. If we'd like, placing that left palm on the floor beside us. We can walk it away from us for a deeper extension here, from the fingertips to the full length of the arm, into the shoulder, and all the way up into the jaw. Breathing. If we'd like, gently moving the chin down and back up, exploring those micro muscles in the neck, perhaps noticing a particular spot that needs a little more of our attention here. And staying at that spot for another breath. All together as we exhale, chin meets chest, bring the left hand in. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder, getting a nice extension in the right side of the neck. Taking a deep breath. If we'd like, gently releasing the right palm next to us And we can walk it away from us for a deeper extension here from those fingertips to the full length of the arm, shoulder, all the way up into the jaw. Breathing. Perhaps gently moving the chin down and back up, exploring those micro muscles in the neck. Hanging out at a spot that needs a little more of our attention, wherever that may be. And on our next exhalation, chin meets chest. Bring the right palm in. As we inhale, we can lift our gaze up to meet each other. Beautiful, drawing both arms up to the sky. Big, deep inhale, reach through those fingertips. As we exhale, allowing the right hand to come over to the right side, getting a nice extension in the left side body, but keeping that pelvis rooted on the ground. The gaze can be up towards the top hand or down towards the bottom, whatever feels good. Breathing. As we inhale, coming right back to center. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Nice deep stretch in the right side body. Allowing that left palm to meet the floor, adjusting with the gaze as we need to here. Breathing. And as we inhale, allowing both arms to come to center. As we exhale, turning the chest to the right side and allowing those arms to come out and down to their sides in a twist. The gaze can be working its way towards the backhand, or it's just nice and soft at the side here. As we inhale, come back to center, reaching through these fingertips. Exhale, lead with the chest as we turn to the left side. Allow those arms to come out and down to our side. The gaze is working its way towards the backhand, otherwise it's nice and soft at the side here. Inhale, center. As we exhale, lower both hands down, getting a nice soft stretch in the low back as well as the glute muscles. Allow the chest to relax along with the chin. Breathing. All together, just walking the hands to the right, keeping the chest low. If we'd like, we can guide this right forearm behind the back, opening up the chest a bit. And as we inhale, coming back to center, releasing the right hand, taking a breath, and on the exhalation, walking the hands over to the left side. Chest stays low. If we'd like, guiding that left forearm behind the back, opening up the chest a bit. And inhale right back to center. Release that left hand. All together, walking the chest up as we make our way onto our hands and knees. We're checking our alignment when we get there. The wrists are underneath the shoulder blades, those knees are hip width apart, and the toes are tucked behind the thighs as much as they can be. All together as we inhale, drawing the right heel straight back, lifting that right foot off the mat. We have the option to stay right here, engaging the core as well as this low back here and the glute muscle to support that leg. Otherwise, if you'd like, we're lifting the opposite arm and holding here. Making sure we're breathing. The gaze can be down towards the floor. Isolating all that tension to the core and the back. Pressing through the fingertips if we lifted that hand and the back heel for extra support. Breathing. And all together, we can release that hand and the knee if we lifted it. Wiggle those hips out side to side. And come to center all together. Inhale, draw the left heel straight back, lifting that left foot off the ground. If we'd like, hanging out right here, making sure that core and the back is engaged to lift that leg. Otherwise, we're lifting the opposite arm nice and strong. Making sure we're breathing. Holding here. And all together, releasing the knee and that hand. Wiggle the hips from side to side. As we inhale, allowing the belly button to drop down as we lift the crown of the head and the tailbone for cow pose. We have the option to go with our own breath here. Otherwise, we're following me. As we exhale, round out the back, tuck the chin and the tailbone for cat pose. Inhale, open up, belly button drops down, lift through the crown and the tailbone. And exhale, soften, curve that back, tuck the tailbone and chin. Inhale, open up for cow, lift the tailbone and the crown. All together. Round it out for cat, tuck the tailbone and chin. Last time, inhale, open up. And exhale, round it out. And then coming to a nice neutral spine. As we inhale, drawing that right heel straight back, engaging the glute muscles, the low back and the core to do so. Option to keep both hands on the ground here. Otherwise, we're lifting the opposite arm. Holding. Passing through those fingertips and the back heel. The gaze is relaxed. And all together, release the leg and the hand if we lifted it. Rock the hips from side to side. Find ourselves nice and grounded at stillness. Draw the left heel straight out and back. Option to keep both hands on the ground here, otherwise lifting opposite arm. Hold. Making sure we're breathing. Two more breaths here. And all together, as we release, we can drop that knee and the hand, wiggle those hips from side to side. All together, drawing the right foot just outside of the mat. Allow the gaze to follow that back heel for a kidney squeeze. Inhale, bring the right foot back to center. Exhale, allow that left foot to come outside the mat, the gaze to follow. And inhale, come right back to center. All together, flipping the back toes, guiding those hips up and diagonally back into downward facing dog pose. The gaze is towards the toes here. If we'd like, we can paddle out the feet, lifting one heel as we send the opposite heel down. Stretching those micro muscles in the feet and the ankles. Getting a nice stretch through the length of the leg. And all together, holding our down dog nice and strong. As we inhale, just lifting both heels off the ground, coming into the balls of the feet. Exhale, send the heels down. They don't have to reach the ground, no pressure, no force, just a lift. Coming into those balls of the feet. And exhale, send the hips down. Nice stretch in the backs of the legs. One more time, inhale, pressing into the toes. And exhale, send the heels down. All together as we inhale, drawing the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Holding here. And all together as we exhale, drawing that right knee in towards the chest, just as a transition to ground the right foot between the hands, low lunge. I want us to check our alignment here. Make sure that ankle's underneath the knee. We don't want the knee shooting over the ankle here, for protecting our joints and finding a bit of ease in our balance as we start to lift. Once we're ready, we inhale, draw both hands up to the ceiling, high lunge. Holding here, pressing into the back heel for balance if we need to. Breathing. On an exhalation, we're lowering the chest over this front leg, reaching through the fingertips. To feel our back muscles engage right away, and those shoulders. Some nice pressure into the right glute muscle. All together, exhale, release the arms back, chest stays in the same exact spot. Inhale, those arms come right back in front of us, reaching through the fingertips. And as we exhale, release the hands for low lunge. Step the back foot forward so we can lengthen out the front leg towards extension. If we have really tight hamstrings, it's okay to have a slight bend in the knee here. But finding some grounding between the 2 points in our feet. And our next inhalation, lifting the back up just halfway for our pyramid pose. Reaching through the fingertips, gaze is down. Exhale, release both arms back, chest stays in the same spot. Inhale, reach those arms forward. And as we exhale, bending into the front knee, as we lower the hands down, All together, step the feet back, hips high, down dog. Lengthen out the spine. Breathe. All together as we inhale, drawing the left heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Holding here. And as we exhale, bringing that left knee into the chest, just as a transition to ground that left foot between the hands, no lunge. Adjusting our alignment as we need to. As we inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling, high lunge. Breathing here. And as we exhale, just lowering the chest over this front thigh, reaching through the fingertips. Breathing. All together, releasing those arms back. Chest stays in the same exact spot. As we inhale, reach those arms forward. And all together, relaxing the hands down to the ground, low lunge. Step the back foot forward so we can allow the front leg to come towards extension here for our pyramid pose. Take a deep breath, and on the next inhalation, reaching through the hands. Chest only comes about halfway. Reaching through the fingertips. All together, reaching those arms back. Chest stays in the same exact spot. Inhale, draw those arms to center. And as we exhale, bend into the front knee. As we release the hands, step the feet back, hips high, down dog. Holding here. Breathing. Gaze is towards the toes. And all together on an exhalation, allowing those shoulder blades to come over the wrists. Hips are in line with the shoulders, pressing into the heels for high plank. Holding here. All together, either chaturanga down, otherwise we release the knees, keep those shoulders in and the elbows nice and close to the chest as we lower ourselves all the way down to the ground. Inhale, just lifting the chest. Allow those hands to come off the ground, feeling a nice tightness in the top of the back here. Breathing. We can exhale, release, allow one cheek to meet the mat. Breathing. Inhale, allow the gaze to come to center, lift through the top of the chest, raise the arms off the ground. All together, allowing those arms to come behind us. If we'd like, interlacing the fingertips, gentle pull. And all together, bring the hands forward, Opposite cheek meets the mat. Allow the chest to rest. As we inhale, allow the gaze to come to center. Plant the forearms onto the mat. Elbows are underneath the shoulder blades. And draw those shoulders down and back for Sphinx pose. Crown of the head is high. All together as we exhale, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, look over, opposite side. And inhale, center. Allowing the chest to come down towards the ground, planting those hands gently underneath the shoulder blades. As we inhale, lifting through the hands, the top of the chest rises. Squeezing those shoulders down the back. Breathe. And as we exhale, we can release. Allow one cheek to meet the mat. As we inhale, the gaze comes to center. Lift up those hands. All together, drawing the arms back. If we'd like, interlacing the fingertips. Nice gentle pull. All together, bring those hands back to center, lower the chest, resting on the opposite cheek. All together, as we inhale, allow the gaze to come to center, allowing the left arm to reach out in front of us. Inhale, lift up the right foot as we lift up that right arm as well, or the left arm as well, excuse me. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Using this right hand on the ground as support. And all together, we can bring that left hand underneath the left shoulder blade, release the back foot. Inhale, reach the right hand out as we lift the left heel off the ground. Lift through that right palm. Holding here, making sure we're breathing. All together, bring the right hand back, release the back leg. Grounding both hands underneath the shoulder blades, lifting through the chest, keeping those hips low, but engaging those quadriceps to get those hips off the floor. So we're not driving all the pressure into our low back. Upward facing dog pose. The crown of the head is high. All together, drop the knees. Send the hips all the way down and back for child's pose. Allow the back to round out. Forehead comes down towards the mat. Breathing. If we'd like, allowing those arms to come down to our sides, really allowing that back to round out over the thighs, whatever feels good. And all together, allowing those hands to come back onto the mat, returning to a position of all fours. Grounding those hands into the floor. As we inhale, we're flipping the back toes, guiding the hips up and diagonally back into downward facing dog pose. Inhale, draw the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Holding here. As we exhale, bringing that right knee in towards the chest, just as a transition to get that right foot between the hands. Low lunge. All together as we inhale, lift through the chest, reach the arms up to the sky, high lunge. And breathing here. As we exhale, allow the chest to shift over the front thigh, power through the fingertips. Making sure we're breathing, the gaze is down. All together, releasing both hands back. Inhale, reach through the hands. They come up. And all together, exhale, release the palms of the hands down. Low lunge. Into the back foot forward as we extend the front leg out. Pyramid pose. And all together on an inhalation, lifting that chest up just about halfway. Remember, slight bend in that front knee. We have really tight hamstrings. Reaching through the fingertips again. All together, reach those arms back. Draw the arms forward. Bend into the front knee as we release both hands. All together, send the feet back, hips high, down dog, and breathe. As we inhale, draw the left heel up to the ceiling. Pressing that right foot into the ground for support. And as we exhale, bring that left knee in towards the chest. Just as a transition to draw that left foot between the hands, low lunge. Adjust our alignment as we need to. And as we inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling, high lunge. Breathing here. On an exhalation, allowing that chest to shift over the front knee. Gaze this down, make sure we're breathing. All together, release both hands back, chest stays in the same spot. Inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, reach the hands down towards the ground. Allow the back foot to come forward as we extend that front leg out or work our way towards extension for pyramid pose. Holding here for a breath. And on our next inhalation, lifting up that chest just about halfway. Adjust the feet as we need to. Reaching through the fingertips. If we'd like, reaching those arms behind the back. Taking some ease off those shoulders. All together, reach the arms forward. On exhale, bend into the front knee, release those hands. All together, send the feet back, hips high, down dog. Breathe. All together, on our next exhalation, we're shifting those shoulders over the wrists, allowing those hips to be in line with the shoulder blade for high plank. Holding here. All together, chaturanga down, or allow those knees to come down as we bring the elbows nice and close to the chest, lowering ourselves down to the ground. The chest is soft. All together, allowing both of our forearms to meet the ground, elbows underneath the shoulder blades. Exhale, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, look over, opposite side. Inhale, center, crown of the head is high for Sphinx pose. And all together, bending into the right knee. Grounding the left forearm into the mat, we're working our way toward allowing this right hand to meet the right ankle. Now, if we'd like, we can draw the right ankle closer to the bottom here, allowing ourselves to have a nice deep quadricep stretch. Otherwise, we can inch the shin back, allowing the chest to rise, getting a nice arch in the spine. Whatever we're looking for with our practice today. Using that left forearm for leverage wherever we are. And all together, exhale, release the right forearm and the right leg. Bending into the left knee. Drawing that left palm toward the left ankle if we'd like. Drawing that left ankle closer to the body, getting a nice stretch in the quadricep. Otherwise, allowing that left shin to come away from the body, nice arch in the spine. Using that right forearm as leverage wherever we are. And as we exhale, release the left knee and the left forearm. Now we have some options here. We can feel free to do both sides again. Same way we did before. Otherwise, if we'd like a challenge, we're bending into both knees, drawing each hand back, for bow pose, gently lifting through the shins, finding a nice opening in the chest, arch in the spine. Gaze is forward. Breathing wherever we are. And as we exhale, we can lower the chest down, allow the legs to relax, round those forearms underneath the shoulder blades for Sphinx pose. Look over the right side. Inhale, center. Look over the left. And inhale, center. All together, grounding the hands underneath the shoulder blades. And as we inhale, pressing the chest up, keeping those hips low as we press the tops of the feet into the mat for upward facing dog pose, making sure to engage those quadriceps to get those hips off the ground. Holding here. And as we exhale, release those knees. Send the hips all the way down and back for child's pose. If we'd like, allowing the knees to come to the outer edges of the mat as we drop the chest. Breathing. And on our next inhalation, coming back up to a tabletop position, grounding those wrists underneath the shoulders. And as we inhale, flip the back toes, guide the hips up and diagonally back into downward facing dog pose, holding here. Our gaze is towards the toes. As we inhale, draw the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest, just as a transition to ground that right foot between the hands, low lunge, adjusting our alignment as we need to, all together reaching those arms up to the sky for high lunge. Take a deep breath. On our next exhalation, shifting the chest over the front knee. All together, reaching those arms back. Inhale, right back to center. And release those hands down to the ground. We're inching the back foot forward, allowing it to stay in line with the hips here. We don't want each foot behind each other. Having some nice little space between the feet so we can get some balance. Working that front leg towards extension. Inhale, lift the chest just about halfway. Holding here. All together, reach those arms back. Chest stays in the same spot. Bring those arms forward. Exhale, bend into the front knee. Reach the hands down to the ground. Send the feet back, hips high, down dog. Take a deep breath. As we inhale, draw the left heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, bring that left knee into the chest. Just as a transition, to ground that left foot between the hands. No lunge. Adjusting as we need to. Inhale, reach both arms up to the sky. High lunge. Holding here. As we exhale, allow the chest to come over the front thigh. Breathing. Reaching through those fingertips. All together, allow those arms to come back. Reach those arms forward. All together, release the hands. Step the back foot forward, working that front leg towards extension in our pyramid pose. Again, we can walk that back foot out a bit for balance. And on our next inhalation, lifting that chest just about halfway. All together, send those arms back. Inhale, arms come back to the center. And as we exhale, bend into the knee, send the hands down, hips come high, down dog, and breathe. You can shake the head no and yes, ensuring that we're not holding any tension in the neck. All together, lean the hips over to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lean over opposite side. Come back to center. All together, bending into the knees, allowing them to make their way down to the ground. Finding ourselves in a tabletop position. Take a deep breath. As we inhale, send the right heel straight out and back, lifting it off the ground. If we'd like, we can keep both hands down. Otherwise, we're lifting through the opposite arm. We have the option to stay right here. Otherwise, for a challenge, we can bend into the right knee, work that left arm to meet the right ankle. Open up the chest. Wherever we are today is perfectly okay. We're nice and strong. Wherever we are, release the knee and the hand, wiggle the hips out, and come to center nice and strong. As we inhale, lift through the left heel. Again, we have the option to stay right here. The core is engaged, back muscles are nice and tight. If we'd like, we can lift the opposite arm. For a challenge, bending into that left knee, slowly working that right hand to meet the ankle, lift through the chest. Breathing wherever we are. And all together, release the knee and the hand. Wiggle those hips out. Send the hips all the way down and back. Chest stays low. Allow the forehead to come down towards the mat for child's pose. Breathe. On our next inhalation, we're lifting up to a tabletop position, just as a transition onto our back. As we make our way into some cool downs. Inhale, draw both knees in towards the chest, recline child's pose. We can give ourselves a hug, wrapping around those shins. Rocking from side to side, massaging all those back muscles we've been working today. If we'd like, we can hang out here, otherwise grabbing towards the inner soles of the feet, allowing the knees to come out and down to our sides for happy baby. Again, rocking from side to side if that feels good. We want to stretch out those hamstrings, bending into one knee as we extend the opposite leg. All together, bringing both knees in towards the chest and allowing both feet to meet the ground. The hands plant onto our sides. As we inhale, press those feet into the ground as we engage the glute muscles to lift those hips off the floor for bridge pose. All together, exhale, slowly allowing those hips to come back down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift, engage those glute muscles. Nice arch in the spine. Exhale, release, hips come down. Last time, inhale, rise, engage those glute muscles. Nice arch in the spine. If we'd like, interlacing the fingertips underneath us. And all together, unlatching the hands, allowing those hips to make their way down to the ground. Bring both knees in towards the chest, recline child's pose. We can rock from side to side. All together, allowing our arms to rest gently out to our sides. On an exhalation, using our core as control, allow both knees to come over to one side. Nice long spine and a twist. If we'd like, we can explore with the gaze here, looking towards the right, up towards the ceiling or towards the left, whatever feels good. Exploring with that gaze. Breathing here. All together, engaging our core to do so. Draw those knees back to center. And exhale, rotate them over, opposite side. Nice long spine. Exploring with the gaze. Finding a spot that feels good for us and staying there. Inhale, draw both knees to center. Exhale, extend those legs straight out in front of us, allowing them to meet the ground and allowing our feet to come wider than hip width apart. We can draw the arms down to our sides, roll the shoulders down the back. Going through a full scan of the body, allowing the muscles in the face to soften, the eyebrows and the forehead. Allowing the cheekbones and the eye sockets to be heavy. Moving the tongue from the roof of the mouth as the lips part naturally. And following that attention down the neck, into the collarbone and the shoulder, biceps and the triceps. Notice each elbow, the forearm, the wrist, palms of the hands, softening each and every fingertip. And bringing our attention back to the center line of the body. Notice the rib cage, the heart and the lungs, the inner organs. Allow the hips to be heavy, quadriceps and the hamstrings to be soft. Noticing each knee, the calves and the shins, each ankle, through the tops and the bottoms of the feet, and out each and every toe, a release. We have the option to stay in our corpse pose for another couple breaths. Otherwise, unless we're pregnant or have high blood pressure, we can roll over to the right side. Allow the chest to follow in a fetal position. Allowing ourselves to be close with the body for another moment wherever we are. I'd like us to take this time to send a thank you note to the body and mind that brought you to the mat today. Even if that thank you is just for being able to make it onto the mat. Nothing more, nothing less. Or perhaps that thank you is for supporting you each and every day, even when you don't notice, and even when the outer sensations of the world start to make themselves seem more important than this body and this mind that exists just so you can exist and move in the world. And on our next inhalation, if we'll use the strength of our arms to bring us back up to a resting seated position, bringing our hands to heart center or our third eye. I thank you all for sharing this practice with me today, for allowing me to lead you through it, for working hard, for trying. The light and the love within me sees, I bow, and recognize the light and the love within you. Namaste.